Just getting back to the comments from the president a moment ago there in Bedminster, New Jersey. He continues with the tough talk. Donald Trump saying this man, Kim Jong-un, will not get away with this, and said he will regret it fast if he fires on Guam. Watch that story. We're going to bring in our panel, Republican strategist Evan Siegfried and Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor Jessica Tarloff. Good day to both of you.
Hey, Bill.
We brought you in to talk about Mitch McConnell, but why don't we quickly, we'll get to that in a moment. How is the president doing at managing this so far?
Well, I think he's been doing a good job since he took office at managing China, or North Korea, through China, because he has talked about getting China more involved and sanctioning Chinese banks and businesses that provide the pipeline and lifeblood to North Korea, and they undercut sanctions whenever they're imposed. If this week, I think he should not have said fire and fury, but now he's opened that door, and I think we can manage it to the point where he is saying he will protect Guam.
Why not say that?
Well, I think that when you lower yourself to North Korea's bluster, it reinforces to the North Korean people who have been told that America is the big evil enemy who wants to destroy them. And then when you say that, you're confirming that, and that rationalizes
Possibly,
and legitimizes.
maybe it's the only language he understands.
I think that at the end of the day, Kim Jong-un and his cronies understand money, and that's where the real thrust from the Trump administration has been, and that's where they're going to cut off and really debilitate this entire regime.
What do you think, Jessica? How is the president doing so far?
Well, I'm not a massive fan of the president's approach when he speaks in bombastic terms, and I think his rhetoric has been extremely damaging from the campaign into the presidency. But I did think that the 15-0 win at the UN was a huge positive boon for the administration. And on Sunday, I was very hopeful about what was going to happen going forward. Fire and fury, I agree, it was a little extreme, though we have seen in the past other presidents who we don't think as lowly of using language like that. So it's not
Harry Truman.
And
it's pretty strong.
Absolutely. And I've been hearing clips and clips of that to remind people. I think the issue and the reaction to it has been more about Donald Trump and a problem with him than necessarily the stance he's taken or the language that he's been using. So that is something to think about.
He just referenced that himself, suggesting if someone else had said it, they would be praised.
He does say that, but I think the issue there is this might be one of the circumstances where that's actually true. The problem is he said a lot of other things that he's tried to say if someone else said this, it'd be okay, and it wouldn't have been. So
my sense is, Evan, this weekend's going to tell us a lot. And if things stay calm, we may have found a way out of this. What is your sense?
I think that at the end of the day, we're not going to be engaging in any sort of military action, nor is North Korea. This is a game where they're posturing with us and trying to get more and more influence. This is a reaction from North Korea to the sanctions that were placed, which the Trump administration led the way on in the UN. They're trying to show that they are strong and want to be taken seriously. And I think President Trump, as well as Secretary Tillerson and Secretary Mattis, have a great strategy where they are leveraging our allies and having back-channel conversations to signal North Korea, do not engage, or it's going to be a really big mistake.
Jessica.
Yeah, no, I agree with Evan's assessment, and I would add that Nikki Haley is a critical piece of this, and she's going to be meeting with the president as well, alongside his cabinet secretaries. So I'm hopeful that there will be obviously no military conflict there. It's nerve-wracking to be hearing this kind of language from both sides, and this is certainly a unity moment. I mean, this has to be somewhere where I think everyone takes a step back and realize the seriousness and severity of the situation and kind of cool our jets.
From another time.
Yes.
I mentioned this to Chris Wallace about 30 minutes ago. The markets aren't reacting to this. The Dow could finish up in positive territory today. Do investors not believe this is real?
Well, let's look at the facts at the North Korean missiles. They have no real targeting capability. Yes, they have the ability to fly very far, and they've gotten to the miniaturization stage, but they only have about 60 nukes. Not all of them are miniaturized. And then you have, of the missiles they have that are ICBMs or intermediate range, that they can't hit with the precision needed. So if they targeted Guam, they'll probably end up hitting the middle of the ocean. So I think the markets are recognizing the real capability of North Korea here, which is not that much at present.
We don't know what they can hit, if anything. Jessica, last word.
No, I agree with you about that, and I think that they have been also stabilized by the fact that our officials who are in Guam are being calm about this, right, and saying that the United States has it under control, and they're not as fearful as maybe it looks in the media about what is to happen. That doesn't mean they're not taking it seriously, but I think also investors might have just adjusted to the Trump presidency, and they know that we're going to go in this kind of hyperbolic chamber, and it's going to happen about different things, whether it's healthcare or it's foreign policy, and to just keep trucking along and take advantage of the fact that the economy is getting stronger, continuing on from what Obama built.
Let's hope for a quiet weekend, shall we?
Yes.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Evan.